Welcome to the Supercar Connection podcast. Find us on social at Supercar Connection, and full episodes drop Mondays on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Like, comment, subscribe, send us to a fellow car lover. We appreciate all of your support. I'm Gavin, this is my boy Joe, and we're here to talk about cars. Yeah. Did you notice that at the end? Did you see the end of the TikTok or
the Mr. Beast one?
No, the reel clip from the best sounding car.
The end of it? What about it?
Did you notice the row 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 noise?
That was your car, right?
That was your car.
That's what my car sounds like? Really?
Yeah.
That was my car?
Did you miss that?
No, I heard it. Like talking about like the red, like the ending.
Yeah, the red screen and the revving.
That was the one. That was the video you took.
That was the video I took behind the Ferrari.
It's pretty nice. Honestly, I heard it and I was like, I don't know where he got that of, but
I got that from the 458. My car did not sound good enough to put there.
No, dude, you're tripping. Your car sounds.
My car sounds good, but the rev up sounds good in a tunnel. It sounds good when you're taking off. My rev up sounded like a generator.
Don't even go there. Dude.
Honda generator.
Don't even go there, dude. All right, I'm ready. You tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Supercar Connection. Joe Murphy, back with my boy Gavin. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good.
Chilling?
I'm feeling good. It's been a nice day. I'm happy to be here.
Dude, it's been hot.
It's been very hot.
It's been way too hot.
It's October.
It's not okay.
No, what's the deal with that?
Like, literally, it just creeped over 100 for the first time. And, like, we had already planned to shoot this. And I was like, I should have wore shorts. But I was like, I don't want to give the viewers too much of a show.
Had to close the blinds, throw the lighting off. But I'll be at the beach tomorrow. I'll tell you what, October beach, I can't complain about that.
Are you a big beach guy?
Yeah, I like the beach.
Are you planning on taking the 4C out to the beach?
Probably not.
No?
No, I don't usually take the 4C to the beach because I boogie board. I got some
like
beach
you actually
chairs.
do beach activities.
We kind of pack it up and go.
You're a beach guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a beach guy.
We'll be at the beach for like 4 hours. You don't like it?
Sand. I hate sand.
Really?
Like I'm like, I don't know what it is, but like I'm OCD when it comes to sand. And like no matter I could literally not get in the water, but if I touch sand, there will be sand either on my clothes, in my clothes, or in my car. And then I start to freak out.
But I feel like I know people that don't like sand like that.
Yeah.
So
but
you're not unique.
It is what it is. But even regardless, speaking of the 4C, honestly, I think I wanted to jump into some certain questions I have with the 4C. Because I think, in my opinion, the 4C is like literally, might be arguably the most underrated car in existence.
The most underrated car in
I really
existence?
think it is.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, first question I'll ask you is, what is your favorite feature of the 4C?
My favorite feature?
By feature, I mean anything that involves the car.
How it looks.
That's your number one.
That was my number one. That's
Really?
the first thing that got me into it, was how it looks.
Not the first thing that got you into it. Now, like as an owner for so long and have
Still the
experienced
looks.
It, still the looks, really?
Yeah.
Dang, I would have
I think
not
so.
guessed that.
Well, it's like it's the dynamic. It's like that you get that.
Dynamic.
Yeah, you like the you're rubbing off on me. I'm always saying
I know, I'm
dynamic.
dumb, sorry.
I got to quit the dynamic. He's Mr. Dynamic.
And now
I'm not
you're
Mr. Dynamic. I'm sorry. I won't take that from you. But when it comes, like, I feel like just at the price range, how it looks, it's like it's a relative thing.
It's like
right?
the only car that looks like that in that
Yeah,
price
so
range.
like the fact that I've got like this kind of like supercar look in something I can afford, which, you know, that's just how it is. Like I want to drive a Lambo. I want to drive all these things. I want to get an R8 here soon, whatever. But like, truth of the matter is, not everyone's got that at any time. We're young. It is what it is.
100%.
So I'm just like, I was being able to get into kind of like a supercar world, if you will.
Right.
At that price point. All
To be honest
day.
with you, I think that was the first thing that correlated in my brain with that car. Was I was literally just like, I can't believe this car is the way it is for that price point.
Yeah.
And again, when you got it, how happy I was for you, on top of the fact that like I legitimately did not know a lot about that car. I had knew of its just pure existence. Mm-hmm. But even still, another question for you, different angle for you to say.
Sure.
Do you feel like because the car is so, I guess, I don't know if you want to say it, like whatever term you want to use, underrated, or it's such a good value, do you feel like it makes you a little content having it? Because you're like, my car is still pretty nice. Like, I don't need the next level.
I definitely need the next level. I've
reached that point.
Yeah. I had the stage of contentment. Right now, I need the R8. I need it desperately.
Desperately.
So, and there's a couple reasons for that. And we can chat about it if you want. But yeah, I definitely need the next thing right now.
I'm telling you, that feeling is the beginning step of that getting the goal.
Yeah.
That when you finally get to the point where you're like, I can't have what I don't, not that I don't appreciate and love what I have, but like I'm ready to, like, it's either this or nothing. That's step one.
It was the beginning. I mean, it's like when I started feeling that way is when I started the podcast.
Everything.
It's when I started looking at, alternative sources, if you will.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, it like begins that next drive. I was very content with where I was at. I was happy. The car was great, all that stuff. And then the switch just flipped.
Right.
And it was like, it's time for the next thing. It's not to say that I don't still enjoy it, because
Very true.
I love it a whole lot.
Very true.
She'll always be my first love. But,
oh no.
but there's definitely a next level that we're going for now.
So you feel like your whole like worldview has changed cohesively. So now you're like, all right, now the Audi R8 suits my current perception and current mindset.
Yeah,
overall.
it suits my next step.
Your next step.
If I had Huracan money, it would be a Huracan. Like, I don't want to.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
And again, don't take this negatively. Okay.
I won't.
You know I love you. You look like the type of dude that would drive an Audi R8. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if I had to pick.
Well, how about
maybe
Zac
this should be
Efron?
something we should talk about. No.
In 17 again,
Yes.
he pulls up to high school in the R8.
Something like that. Like I feel like maybe we could talk about this one day, but like literally like the correlation between the cars and the type of person that drives that car. But like when I think of an Audi R8 driver, I don't know why you pop in my head.
Yeah.
Something about
anything
like
else, or is R8 like number one?
Well, I think R8
option?
might be number one. I could see you in like, honestly, you give me McLaren vibes too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Lambo, the personality of a Lambo, even though I know that's your number one goal, I feel like Lambo always attracts a douchier type of person.
Yeah, that's
not
fair.
saying douchey negatively, because I'm arguably one of the douchiest people that exists. But it definitely attracts, versus like a Ferrari is like always like, when you think of Ferrari, what do you think driving it?
Older guy, typically.
What else?
Typically was number two.
No, my bad. I was waiting for you to dial number two.
I mean, older guy is just like
the number
all I
one.
can think of, yeah.
I think of I guess older guy, it correlates, but like older money, like not like a. I don't think.
Yeah,
how do I
older
describe
money.
it? I don't think of like a CEO or like a young, or like not a young, an entrepreneur of like the newer modern ways of making money. I think of like a doctor that's been a doctor for 40 years.
Yeah.
That's who's driving a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Versus when I think of like a Huracan, especially like an Aventador, I'm like, no doctor's driving an Aventador.
No, you're selling courses, you're doing crypto.
Everything in between.
Yeah.
Like, and you're doing a lot more stuff than
Your
nobody even
Instagram
knows
is
you're doing.
Lamborghinis and videos of you at the club.
Exactly. And you got bust downs on and everything in between.
For sure.
So I feel like your vibe is the Audi R8, because I think, in my opinion, the Audi R8 is like the perfect, clean cut, all around car for the price and what it is. I feel like that's you. Like
That's fair.
You're the all around perfect, like clean cut. Like it's very
For
hard
the price
to,
that
like,
I am.
not the price that you are. You know what I mean?
I'd come at a premium.
You do come at a premium. One of the things that I'm surprised that you don't like, or use, that you picked the look over the 4C more so, is like the driving experience.
I mean, the driving experience is great, don't get me wrong.
But you like the look more than the driving experience?
Well, I kind of have to, because it was like, if it was just driving, if it was just driving experience, like there might be other options, if that makes sense.
Oh, no, I feel
but
like
for the look,
obviously,
there's like no other option.
That's true.
I
That's
love
fair.
the driving experience, and you might even like, maybe you're talking me into it. Because, yeah, I mean, as much as like but it's tough to beat like walking to your car parked in a parking garage or something like that, and like the lights hitting it the right way, and there's nothing parked around it, and you just see it, and you're like,
Yeah,
wow,
that's clean.
All right.
If you don't look back at your car twice after you park it, it's not the right car.
Yeah, exactly. But the driving experience is I don't even know what to say. Extremely unique.
It is. Even when
Best way
I
to
drove
describe
it, and I was like, this is not what I've felt in a while.
That's kind of what I tell everyone that does drive it. I'm like, it's just like unlike anything else. It's extremely unique. You've probably never felt anything like it. So that's the one thing that like worries me about getting rid of it one day, is even with like an R8, it's like it's going to be in a straight line on the highway, all that stuff.
Right.
So much, it's going to give me so much more.
Right.
And it's going to be comfortable, which is like a positive and a negative, because I'm kind of a psycho.
Right.
It's like I'm driving a sports car.
He's
I want
a psycho.
I want it to be a little uncomfortable. That's
Right.
kind of that's the
point.
That's the agreement.
Right. That's the point.
I don't want to drive an S. I didn't buy a Range Rover.
Right. We're not buying SL63s.
Exactly. I'd buy an SL63 if I wanted it to be fast and comfortable, but
and spend $180.
I need it to be stiff.
Right.
All that stuff. but I don't
Can
know.
I tell you something?
It's just super unique. Yeah.
And you tell me if I'm wrong. Am I allowed to share my experience with your car?
For sure.
To the viewers?
I'm sorry I didn't even ask.
No, it's not even that. What you said, I think, is
because I remember you driving it for the first time up on Mulholland.
Literally, and I think that was the perfect place for the car too.
Mm-hmm.
But like exactly what you're saying about what the car is, I think like a good way to describe the 4C specifically is it's because of the year. Maybe it's the year or whatever it is, and where they pulled the design ideas from. But it's the perfect combination, again, for this price point, because I feel like there's also cars that are perfect combinations of this, but the price point.
Can we say the price point real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, go.
But we keep mentioning the price. Some people probably don't even know what they go for, because like
true.
a lot of people don't even know what the car is to begin with.
Right.
I had a guy ask me if it was a Scion on the road, which offended
He
me a
actually
little
was
bit.
a Scion?
Yes.
What was he driving,
I
like
was
a 98
I was sitting
Camry?
at a red light, and he's like, "Hey, I like your car," and I was like, "Thanks." And he's like, "Is it a Scion?" And I was like, "What? A Scion?"
You're like, buddy, you see these body lines? Do you think this is a Japanese car?
I was like,
Come
"No."
on, bro.
I was like, "It's an Alfa Romeo." He's like, "Oh, what is it? I've never seen one." And then he asked me if it was rare, and I was like, "Well, have you seen one?"
Come on, dude.
So that was an interesting experience. But price point, I bought mine for $41,000.
What year?
2015.
Sorry, what year did you buy it in?
I bought it in 2020.
2020?
Right before everything took off.
Right before everything took off.
Right before everything took off.
Damn, 41,000.
You're looking at, I mean, things have softened, so you're looking probably high 40s right now.
Bro,
For
think
mine,
about what car you can
'cause
get
I've
for 41
stacked on
now.
some miles on it.
How many miles have you stacked on in a couple years? If you could just off your head.
10K.
10K?
Yeah.
10K in like 3 or 4 years?
3.
That's not bad.
No, it's not a lot.
Well, you barely drive that
I was
thing.
working from home for most
true.
of that.
The only reason you have those miles is because you were like, I want to go drive.
Yeah, everything, all the driving miles I put on it before a couple months ago when I started having to drive it to work,
Right.
were I'm driving the car.
Like I'm getting in this because this is exactly what I want to do. I'm not
Yeah.
going anywhere.
Or I'm going to Ralph's, which is half a mile down the street, so it's a mile round trip, and that's not adding anything. But I'm going to
excuse
take
to
it
get
to
in the car.
Ralph's just
Right.
because it'll be more fun than
And
the
it's
Volvo.
spacious for groceries too.
Yeah. I got the front seat just loaded up. I can put two bags in the trunk.
41,000.
Just don't put ice cream in the trunk because behind the engine it'll heat up.
It'll heat up real
It'll
fast.
melt. Yeah, 41,000. 50 will get you. I mean, honestly, like if someone takes care of it, you could probably buy my 4C today, market value ish, for 48 to 50, and it's clean, well taken care of. I've got all the maintenance, all that stuff.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
If you want to buy Gavin's Alfa Romeo 4C, 50K is the asking. No, we're firm. No haggle price.
No haggle,
50K if you want
50K.
it. Yep, send the wire.
But it definitely ranges up. Mine's got 36,000 miles on it now.
36,000 miles?
Yeah, how about
I feel
that?
like that's not a lot for that car.
I mean, it's not, but it is.
I feel like it's a lot in the grand scheme of when you think of, but that's the thing.
Most people don't. They're not most people don't daily drive.
It's not a Lambo.
The car,
Even still, it's not a Lambo.
but it's
I feel like
less
that car-
comfortable than a Lambo. and
Right,
it's
but
harder to drive.
I'm talking about, think of the car itself. I think that car for that price range and what transmission it has, what motor it has, I think that car, 36,000 miles, is like having 10,000 miles on a brand new Huracan.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that car is built and can handle higher mileage, even though it's an Alfa Romeo, comparative so to like most Italian cars. Not saying Italian cars are bad when they get in high mileage, but you get what I'm saying. 36,000 for the year, the grand scheme of it, it's not a lot of miles.
And the other thing is like it's so simple inside. You know, you've got like the carbon fiber tub, which is like one of the other cool things about it. It's like a carbon fiber chassis monocoque.
Where are you going to get that for 41, 45, whatever you want to call it, 1,000?
You're not.
That's impossible.
I mean,
man.
there a lot of supercars use aluminum.
Yeah.
So like even like McLaren does carbon fiber monocoques, but it's like to have
Bless
that in a car like that,
What did you just say? What was that word?
monocoque.
That is like another word for like interior?
No, it's
Or
it's,
chassis
it's
body?
a type of chassis, like the,
Is it
the
really?
tub style chassis.
Dude, I didn't even know that.
It's a
that
monocoque.
term.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know crap about cars, but whatever.
So
were
yeah,
saying.
you got the carbon tub. That's like the layman's terms.
Right, there it is. That's what I was used to.
And it's all like exposed. You literally just see
That's
the
part of
carbon
what I
tub,
like about it a lot.
and everything's just like bolted to the carbon tub.
and your red
So
interior,
the seats
man.
are just bolted right into the carbon. The carpets are just like they screw into the carbon. So I could take the carpets out, and it's just like carbon fiber floor. But everything's so
that's kinda
simple
hard.
and basic. Like there's not much to mess up.
That's
you
true.
know. So it stays like the the side sills aren't covered in leather; it's carbon fiber, so it holds up really nice.
Okay.
It doesn't like the interior. Most cars at 36 is you start seeing the age a lot.
Yep.
But I feel like my car, you get into it and it's still pretty. It looks very. You wouldn't be able to date it.
No, it's timeless, dude.
Yeah.
It's timeless. Same thing with the body lines, like like you're saying, the look of the car.
Yeah.
It's literally like timeless.
It's clean. We had it next to the GT3 RS in the 458.
And it belonged.
We'll post the picture.
We will. You guys will see
Beautiful
it coming
picture.
up.
But yeah, it belongs.
It literally looks like it belongs. Again, knowing it, the price is the dynamic, but there it goes again with that word. But if you were
that's your
looking
word,
at that,
you can have it.
I know. I'm just gonna start owning it. Anytime I say that, we should just slap like a big like you know, you've seen like
Dynamic.
like kapow things
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
type of thing. What I was saying was, if you don't know anything about cars and you saw those 3 cars like in this photo, you would not be able to tell the fact that this car is this value and then these are this. You would just all assume that they're all relatively same ballpark. If you knew nothing about cars, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Purely off the imagery and the way the car looks. Granted, I think this is a great photo. Berkeley did a great job.
It is a great photo. It definitely puts it in its best light.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I was looking at, it got to a point where I wasn't even really looking at my car. I was looking at the GT3 and yours, and I was like, dang, this car looks good, dude. This car looks good. Even the C8 Corvettes had a good, those in the photos we have. We'll post, I'm down to post all the photos, stuff like that. But the C8 Corvettes compared to like the GT3, those cars, man, don't sleep on the C8 body lines, man.
Yeah.
That car is
You're here
sweet.
for it. I
really
know
am,
you're
man.
here for it.
I kind of miss it, man. I miss it. Not that I don't have it anymore, but like I like
Yeah.
driving the Ferrari and stuff like that. Like I miss my C8. I like
Because
my
the
C8.
C8, you had no cares.
Yeah, like it was like, yeah, like I get what you're saying. No cares in the sense of I'm like, brand new car, it's nice, it's like it is what it is. Ferrari, I'm driving and I'm like I don't want to mess anything up. Going back to what I was saying about the 4C, and this kind of like I think is really what, when you own the car and when you drive it and when you really, really, really like experience it, this is the perfect reasoning of why the car is so great. It's a perfect combination of not only driving experience, but because of the year it was made and exactly what they chose to emphasize and spend the money, the car is extremely raw in the sense of the driving experience.
Yeah.
But it's also modern enough where you get the modern touches without the plug and play. Like I feel like today, like right now, 2020 and 2023 model cars, all the cars, they're extremely plug and play.
Here's the, what am I looking for? The metaphor I've used.
Hit me.
I think this fits well. It's like a 90s Ferrari with modern parts.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
It's lightweight. It's like back when those cars were still super light.
Yes.
It's no power steering.
Yes.
It's stiff. It goes 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. That's like what those cars.
We're at RPMs too. That's what I'm saying.
That's like what those cars would do.
Literally.
It's like a modern. It's like a 90s Ferrari today.
That's exactly.
Except
That's
you have a
exactly
dual
what I mean.
clutch gearbox instead of the like F1.
It's exactly what
floppy.
I mean. It's like even my car, like the Ferrari. It's literally like if you compare it to the 488s that are 5-6 years older, the F8s, everything. That's why people are obsessed with this model because of the motor and the 9,000 RPM rev and the flat plane crank and naturally aspirated. That car, when you drive it, you don't realize how raw it is.
Yeah.
Like if people who don't know, if you like see the interior, maybe we can find a photo. I'll take a photo of my interior. It's so limited in there because again, it's the whole point of it is not to have like a crazy AC system. The radio is literally a part of the dash, and the dials for the radio are like 2 little buttons.
Yeah.
Like you would have no idea this is what you have to do. Like, and the whole point of the car is the driving experience. So because of that, you get a certain amount of rawness that you don't get now. Everything is perfect. All the technology, like anybody can hop into a Lambo and go, and like plug and play and drive the damn thing. Like that's what not that it's not a bad thing, because I think that's awesome and I think the cars should continue to go like that.
Yeah.
But the dynamic of, there it goes. The dynamic of having a raw feeling car on top of the perfect touch of modern technology and the computers that are in the cars now make it the perfect blend.
Yeah.
Some of these new cars are like, not that they're numb, but like all it is the sound and that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You get me?
Yeah, I feel that.
Especially for that price, where are you going to get a better combination of those two things?
Yeah.
Like you can get a Camry, bag it, and put an exhaust on it.
There's a lot of owners that have like Ferraris and like there's a lot of owners that have plenty of money to have other things.
And they have
and
that.
keep a 4C because it's
Honestly,
such
that's a pretty good idea, honestly. Now that I
Honestly,
think
there's
about it.
one video I saw on YouTube. This dude had a Huracan Performante, an AMG GTR,
What year? Or what body style, sorry?
like the matte green one.
Okay, the newer ones.
Yeah.
Got it.
AMG GTR, from like 2019 or 18,
Yeah.
whenever those came out. And then he had a 4C, which was like pretty much modded to the ceiling.
Really?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
nasty is that car modded?
Pretty nasty.
Really?
Yeah, I drove this like stage 3 one with like full suspension, tire or wheel, like new wheels, and
How much horses was it pushing?
alcohol injection as well.
Really?
Yeah.
E85? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dang.
So this thing was like
That's
this
not
thing-
an easy
So this was
conversion.
like a stage 3. It's probably pushing like 350 in that little car.
How much does it weigh again?
2,500 pounds.
3,500 or 350 horsepower in a. Say it again.
2,500 pounds.
That's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, this thing.
That's ridiculous.
It goes.
It absolutely goes. People, I don't think. Another thing I think people
And
don't
it is
realize.
glued because he's got the whole suspension set up to the 9, and it's like
That
just-
car's wheelbase,
it's
too, is
on-
short,
It is
too.
on rails.
I can only imagine. I feel like that's one of the things. Again, maybe people that don't know, like when it comes to like the specific specs of the performance of cars, I feel like people don't realize how big a correlation weight and horsepower go. People think like, oh, like 20 horsepower is nothing, and then like 50 pounds is nothing. 20 horsepower gain and reduction of even 50 to 100 pounds makes a difference.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. That's why people get, when they get into drag racing, they get obsessed with like the car's got to be almost nothing. Like that's why people take seats out of the car. And
And that's why when some things is like when it's as light as a 4C, like adding like I have a stage 1 tune and it's 40 horsepower bump, but you feel it.
40 horsepower bump, you absolutely
40
will feel it.
horsepower in the 2,500 pound car. Swap those ECUs and it is like you feel it.
I feel like, again, I think this perfectly ties back into what I was saying earlier, is like nowadays, because you can, with all the electronics, you can tune a car and get 200 horsepower. So people are like, what, 50 horsepower, that's it? 50 horsepower is a lot of horsepower.
Right. I didn't send it to VF Engineering and get a supercharger.
Exactly. I didn't just send 50 grand and put a supercharger. Now I'm pushing 1400 on my R8. That's not what it is. It's especially too. Those are, I mean, granted, if you put a supercharger, it's mechanical, but like a lot of the tunes that are nowadays, it's just the ECUs. Like they just tune the ECUs, maybe different to the throttle. Your car,
that's
the
all it
stage
is.
one,
Like they up the boost.
that's it. That's all it is. And again, some dealerships and the manufacturers, they dial it back on purpose. Like with the C8 Corvette, I hate that I always reference the dang car, but I think it's amazing. But the C8 Corvette, the whole reason that it's the horsepower that it is and everything about the car, it's only 500 horsepower.
Yeah.
You compare that to other cars, 500 horsepower is
495.
okay. So so it's 495 horsepower. Now it's even worse. So now if you compare 495, 500 sounds better, Gavin. 495.
I know.
Right,
That's why
the
you
5
picked
is
it.
way better
Of
than
course,
the
of
4.
course.
The G wagon is 400 something horsepower. You tell me that the Super C8 is in the same horsepower? No.
495.
500 horsepower. If you compare that to other cars with the same imagery, horsepower wise, it's nothing. But that car, when they redesigned the Vet and they did an extreme change, they perfectly designed it so that power the transmission can handle that power. It can put it to the wheels. That car does 0 to 60 in 2.9.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about it.
That is crazy,
because they
it's big too.
That's what I'm saying. They perfectly curated. And so now the Z06 is literally them going, all right, we got the base formula. It can handle this. Let's bump it up and let's go balls to the wall. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I feel like people don't realize like why, like not that why cars are the way they are, but like it also correlates to like what the company's doing, manufacturers doing. But I feel like I'm just rambling now.
Let me give one last little like sales pitch on the 4C.
Hit me.
I'm just gonna like kind of
Sell it to the
yeah. I'm gonna
viewers.
put all my
Sell it to the
thoughts
viewers.
together real quick because it's such a weird car. So you got to remember, no power steering. That makes things engaging to a certain extent in like the canyons, but I would say annoying not in the canyons.
Shoulder workout.
Yeah, it's a bit of a workout to back out of the garage and then crank the wheel over and pull out, or like in a parking lot or parallel parking. Like it's not convenient, and that's part of what I'm excited about in like an R8 is like, as much as I like to be uncomfortable, switching to something a little more comfortable now sounds kind of exciting.
You get older, man.
But the way that it's like, it's so small, it's like a pocket car.
Right.
So we described it one time as like you're wearing the car. It's like a car suit.
You wear that car. Like, again, my driving experience was like, there's very few cars you drive that you really wear. That car is 100% one of them.
It's got like the go-kart feeling. And it's with the mid-engine, like it's mid-engine, again, crazy.
For that price.
For that price. You got this. You're looking at the engine through the back window, which I think is cool, even though it looks like a Honda generator. They did not work hard to make that engine look good.
It don't matter. That car is. It's
At
least not an NSX.
It's still cool.
That's a joke.
Either way. But it's a lot of fun. And it's even like 4 seconds is not slow.
No.
We're talking like this is what Ferraris were doing in the early 2000s.
Telling you.
So like it gets up and goes. It makes noise. It's loud. It's obnoxious. And it's super fun. So like as far as being able to get something that gives you all that it gives you for me, 41,000 or let's just say 50, like market price for a good one.
Right.
Like that is, I don't know. That just seems like such a crazy proposal. You can get something that's fun, that's more boring, but
honestly, I think you hit it spot on, and I feel like the way you describe it is literally like the perfect way. I think they should let us know what they think about the 4C in the comments down below.
Yeah.
I want everyone's raw opinion about the 4C.
Am I a poser for driving a 4C?
Never that.
Because I don't know, because it got a lot of bad press out the gate it was just launched really poorly. Like the way remember we had my alignment done.
Yes.
The way it comes from the factory, it's toe out in the front. So it's made to be searching for crevices. I mean, that's a handling decision, right?
It is.
That's like a track. That's more of a track setup.
It is.
But when you're driving down the highway with your front wheels towed out at all, when you hit a groove in the road, it rips you.
Yeah.
And one time I was driving down the highway and I hit a groove and it literally ripped me into the other lane. And I mean ripped me. Like I was driving both hands on the steering wheel and it ripped me into the other lane. And I thought if there was a car next to me, I would have hit it.
You would have for sure hit it.
And I'm like full focus sitting here driving. So I had to, and so a lot of the press people didn't love that.
Right, obviously. Because
it made the car kind of difficult to drive. Since then, most people just get an alignment, not to the factory specs,
right?
Like mine, and I can drive with one hand.
When you hit me up, you're like, I want these specs. I was like,
yeah,
what are we doing, man?
Straight as an arrow.
I feel like maybe going back to like the release of it, I think people just maybe they didn't understand exactly what it was.
And no one knew about it.
Exactly. Like they didn't realize.
Alfa Romeo didn't exist here.
That's true.
Since the 1970s, I think.
Yeah.
So people didn't know what it was. And they thought they were going to come in and be like, look at this cool car. So we're going to use this as our press vehicle. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's still, you're pushing a $70,000 sports car.
Literally.
Like you're not giving the market, it's not like, look at this insane, like what Audi did with the R8. Like they didn't give that show pony. This is like, here's a raw $70,000,
Was that the MSRP
car.
Right around there, 70,000?
Yeah, right.
When the car came out. In the first year of the car was 2015, or what's the first production year?
2015.
2015 is the
here in the U.S. 2015.
How many years does it extend to?
What?
How many years does it extend to?
2020.
2020.
They only made the coupe to 2018.
Okay.
And then 2019 and 2020 they made the Spider. Because of
how are the 2020s
regulations?
Are they like a lot more technologically?
It's all the same.
Really?
Yeah.
See there it is. I'm telling you, they know the formula.
There's
works.
been very slight changes. Nothing really, I think, worth mentioning. But it's generally the same car from 2015 to 2020.
See, that's a smart move by them.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's a good time. Let's segue into some spec checks. What do you think?
I told you we could talk about the 4C forever.
I mean,
we could spend the whole episode.
We honestly really could.
But because I gave my spiel, but I feel like at the same time we've just talked for nearly half an hour and I just scratched the surface. There's so much to talk about.
You got me curious now. All the possibilities for that car now.
Yeah.
How crazy can you get on that car? You think there's a way you can throw 500 on that car?
You'd have to engine swap it for sure.
Forget it.
Because it's a 1.7 inline four.
It's a 1.7
1.7 liter turbo.
1.7 inline four.
Yeah, I get like 24 miles to the gallon.
Do you really?
Yeah, isn't that wild,
dude?
24 miles to the gallon, 4.0 seconds. Where else do you get that?
Dude, I don't even do that
at any price point.
I don't do that in my daily. I think in the wagon I do like. I mean, I also drive like a douche, so I probably do like 6 in my G wagon.
This is such a unique car.
Oh no, dude.
People don't understand. Sleeping on it. Go out there, drive a 4C, sleeping on it. Turo one.
There's 4Cs on Turo?
Yeah, I Turoed one before I bought mine.
You've dabbled?
Yeah,
you did?
Yeah.
See, that's the way to do it. You're a real car enthusiast.
Because I bought my Lotus and I was like, without driving it and hated the experience. So I was like, okay, I think I want this next car, but I got to drive it first. I'm not just buying a car without driving it. Don't ever buy a car without driving it.
That obviously, I feel like that should be known. But I feel like there's people who do that. Do never buy a car without driving it.
So many times something makes sense. The Lotus made sense.
You know, that honestly, the fact that you said that, it's crazy to me. Like, buying this Ferrari, I was like, I need to drive it. And like, I told the people, I was like, yeah, I need to go drive the car. And like, what do you mean you need to go drive the car? And I hear so many stories about people buying cars sight unseen. They're like, oh yeah, the car was in Miami. I just wired $300K and they shipped it over here.
Yeah.
No matter what the car looks like or what it is, you have to drive the car because you need to be able to understand what it feels like. Because even though they make a certain car a certain way, every single unit, because of the way it was serviced, the ownership, it could feel different per unit.
Oh, I didn't drive this one before I bought it.
Oh, I'm not saying that one. I'm talking about the car in general.
One before.
I also think it's insane if you don't drive it, at least that car when you buy it. Like I went back in the day when my grandparents were buying a Ford Explorer at the time. They went and there was 2 Ford Explorers that they wanted at the same dealership, and there was one was white and one was black. My old man is very, 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 very picky when it comes to cars, and he's very, very, very detailed. Like, he knows, like, he literally will drive a car for like 30 seconds, and he literally can understand everything that's wrong with it, from the timing to the way it idles, everything.
Yeah.
He drove one Explorer, and he goes, this is a lemon, like, I can feel it. He goes, the way it throttles and everything, he goes, I don't like the car. And I go, okay, maybe Ford just really didn't do it this year. He drives the other one, and he goes, no, that one's just messed up. Turns out that model that they had that they were trying to sell was literally, I forgot, something was either not tuned properly with the throttle, where like the car was like if you would have bought that car, you probably could have lemoned it. Like, they got lucky they didn't sell that car.
But he felt it.
My grandfather driving it was the one that pointed it out, and then they were able to figure it out because it's such a fine difference between the two. So I feel like if you don't drive a car, I don't understand how people do that. How do you buy a car sight unseen? Buy it, especially when you get up in the upper levels of like vehicles, like especially supercars. For me, I just can't do it. I can't do it. Whatever.
All right, here we go. We got a P1.
Oh wow!
This is first up. I had to really blow this up so you can actually see it.
See,
we got a P1 in the, what would you call this? Color shifting?
Yeah,
Surely you've seen it.
It's like
online.
almost like not rainbow's not the right color, but it's like I just call it a multicolor wrap, but that's like the dumbest thing.
It's not a wrap though. This is paint.
This is paint?
Yeah, this is MSO. For sure.
Are you serious?
Yeah. CJ Wilson, the pitcher, had one just like this.
No, dude, this
for
is
a
beautiful.
long time.
This is amazing.
So the color change, you're here for it?
I am here for it.
Yeah, this is I saw a 675 LT in this color at a show one time.
I like the car, and I think it like is beautiful. I'm just thinking of if it was mine. Obviously, it's for what the car is. Obviously, I would love it. But like, if I had like my consistent day to day was like this loudness, like the fact that it's not a wrap, like a wrap you can take off and you can like rewrap a different color. You can tone it down, but like
You could always cover it.
you like every time you drive it, you're committed to be like, everybody's gonna look at me. But it is a McLaren P1, so obviously no matter what the color,
This is
gonna look at you.
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
This is my favorite P1 spec, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I
I
absolutely
appreciate
love
that
this spec.
paint. Look at the way that they have one color on certain parts of the body line and the other one underneath, and the way that it mixes in. Like, look at that. No, that's insane.
Yeah, the color, the light literally just completely changes the colors.
It's insanity.
It's
I like
so,
this car.
They look so.
This is a six.
They look so cool in person.
This is a 6-pack.
P1's hard to mess up, but if I had my pick of the litter,
How much do you think this paint job is?
100K. That's a guess.
And I imagine it's probably some insane.
But that's number one. We both just kind of agree that that's sick. I wasn't
The
sure.
car's hard. It's hard to not like a P1.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if you'd like the color shift. I thought maybe you'd rip on the color shift. But
What is this? What are you showing me right now?
I'm showing.
What are you showing me right now?
This is a 458 Speciale.
Speciale? It's an abomination.
We've
of a
got
Speciale.
matte white with white wheels and blue fade Hot Wheel stripes.
What are they
We call it that.
doing?
We got two stripes down the sides.
Look at the reflector in the middle of the stripe towards the front. That.
Oh yeah.
The reflector light. That.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Why would they put the stripe right there so that you have an orange slot in between your blue striping? What are they doing?
Yeah, this is so strange. So I pulled this on the gram, and this is why you got to follow. You got to follow on the gram.
You got to follow on the gram. So you guys
we
understand
post
what we're
these
saying.
with
Yes.
with polls. You can see if people. The only problem with the polls, I feel like, is you get something like this, and it's like At the end of the day, it's a 458 Speciale,
obviously,
and no one's going to say it's trash.
Right, obviously.
But I'm trying to ask if the spec is trash. Not
Ferrari
if the car
of Naples?
is trash.
Is that what it says up there? Ferrari of Naples?
Ferrari of Naples.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. If I had to pick where this car would be, it'd probably be on the other side of Florida.
But who's specking this?
I don't know. See, my thing is, so is this literally, this is from factory?
I'm pretty sure they do stuff like this.
Why would Ferrari do this?
I don't know.
Why would they put this out? I don't think this can't be from factory.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I just feel like the chances of Ferrari really doing this.
Who would do this to a Speciale
Who would ruin it
that
like
didn't
this?
spec it?
Are the wheels white or are they like the chrome wheels?
They're white.
They're white, right?
Yeah, white wheels.
Yeah, no, there's no way. It's no way it's factory. There's no way. Let me see.
You don't think they'll do it? This is definitely because this has like the white trim inside.
Yeah,
so
it's
this was like
blended.
tailor made. This
Crap,
was a one.
it might be factory.
This was a one of one.
It might be factory.
I think it was.
All right. Well, I still think it's an abomination, regardless or not.
It's. I think it kind
Ferrari's
of is too. I
did
think
not do it on this
I'd
one.
still drive it,
Obviously, yeah. I
But
would still let it sit there in my collection, but like
but I think the spec is low key an abomination.
an abomination.
Number 3 is for you.
Oh my gosh! I want to. Can I hear your opinion first
You wanna
before I
hear me
even say
first?
anything?
I picked this for you. I think this is an abomination. I think this is an abomination.
Dude, how this is beauty on wheels. What do you mean?
I think this is disgusting. I can't.
And it's got that
stand-
exhaust, dude. This car is
I
beautiful.
can't stand Mansory. You want to hear? Look,
Can I hear it?
Look through the exhaust. Do you see that?
Yeah, I
you
see
can
it,
literally
but
see
that's-
light.
it don't
because
matter,
it's
man.
not an exhaust tip. It's fake. It's just a bumper.
Dude, it looks. First off, there's a lot of exhaust tips that are fake. But on top
How do you
of
feel
it,
about that?
What?
That's a whole topic itself.
what is?
Fake exhaust tips.
Well,
I got beef with fake exhaust tips.
You have beef with fake
Yes.
exhaust tips?
Yes.
Honestly, I don't.
You don't?
You want to hear my?
You spend $600,000 on a car and it's got fake exhaust tips. You're cool with that.
Well, it's not about the fake exhaust tips. It's if I'm going to spend that money, I want the car perfectly curated to the imagery as well as like the driving experience. So like, how do you know the person who's buying this car? That's the type of exhaust they like. So they have the sound from the legitimate exhaust, but then they get their own imagery on the exterior of the car. What's wrong with that?
Have some craftsmanship.
I mean,
and connect it.
This is a drastic exhaust, so it's either going to hate it or like it. But
This is
even
literally
fake
just,
exhaust tips.
This is just holes on a bumper, and when you look through the holes, there's just these like
they're
tipless
not just
exhaust
holes, Gavin.
pipes
It's like a hex pattern, dude. It's
behind
sick.
behind the
Looks like
exhaust,
the Kobe
just
emblem.
chilling there.
It's sick, dude. It's sick.
But this whole thing is Mansory, as per usual, way overstyled. I think this is disgusting.
This is beautiful.
This is how you ruin an Urus.
This is beautiful. Now, is the hood carbon fiber or is
Hood's carbon.
Hood's full carbon? So what they?
We
paint-
never
they
even
painted
told.
that
We never
carbon?
even told the commuters what we're looking at.
No, I know, not at all. Sorry, guys. We're looking at a Lamborghini Urus, but with a
Mansory.
Mansory package on it. So it looks like it's just got a nasty
What is
body
this package
kit.
called? I forgot.
I think honestly, I don't even know if they have
Ventus
certain
or
names
something?
I think they have certain names for them, but I think mostly it's just an aero kit, like wide body. Look at the car from the original imagery, like the first one where you see it zoomed out.
Yeah.
That one. Zoom in on like the fenders. Yeah, man, that it's beautiful. Look at the
See,
kit.
I
Look
like-
at the way that this. I mean,
I like the RDB wide bodies
RDB does a good job with their wide body kits.
because that one's not overdone. This is overdone.
Well, the first thing you'll notice too, and again, this is now we're gonna get deep into for like 2 seconds. I'll give you guys a little snippet of like things to look at. If you don't really know exactly why things look the way they do, if you zoom in, like for example, RDB does a great job of using the raw materials additional to the body kits. By what I mean by that is if you look, some body kits are like bolt-on body kits where you'll see on the actual, like for example, like what extends the fender, you'll see the bolts or you'll see the screws they use to bolt it on, and it's very raw like that.
Yeah, that's a choice a lot of the time.
Exactly. But a lot of the times too, you need a shop to do this because they're the ones that have to have the people that know how to do this. But like you can use material, like especially like platinum fillers and stuff like that, or like I guess the technical term is Bondo, whatever you want to call it. And you can use it to actually curate the body kit even more so than what it is, just a simple design, curate it more to the exact design you want. That's what separates it. So like in this version, if you look at the fenders, this car, they did a great job of perfectly. Look at the way that it cuts to the vent and then it goes all the way down to the bottom of the door and then it just flows the rest of the car.
The vent on the side? You mean the piece of plastic?
The piece of plastic carbon that on the fender.
It makes me so. That's the. You know what I hate about the Urus the most?
What?
They put this piece of plastic here with like a vent pattern, and it's not a vent. It's just a solid piece of plastic. There's not a single hole in it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's very Tesla.
What is this? A TRD?
I was like, yes. Okay.
They can't,
All of a sudden, TRD 's
Camry
got-
TRD does with this
Like a full carbon TRD.
with the vent on the side.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
The non-vent.
It's pretty bad.
But you're all for it.
I'm for the look.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a big look kind of guy.
I know you like Nardo too. I like the Nardo.
I do like Nardo.
I'll take the Nardo.
The Nardo with a little touch of red.
Yeah, on the seats.
I love it. And the calipers are red too, no?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The spec itself isn't bad, but I can't. I'm
It's
not
the
here
body
for the
kits-
Mansard
the
kick,
body
but
kits I do.
I wanted to put this up here because I knew you'd
You
love
knew
it.
I would love it.
I think it's an abomination. I think fake
You knew this
exhaust
would be
tips
a
like
good
this.
argument is what you
I
did.
think these fake exhaust tips are disgusting, and you can literally see.
Just wait. When we get to a point where I
It's not
eventually
an
get you
exhaust tip.
something like this for your birthday, I'm specifically only getting you something with fake exhaust tips. So you can go, yeah, I like it, and then because you're not going to tell me you don't like your birthday present.
And there's like there's a spectrum of the fake exhaust tips. There's this where it's just straight up. They've made specific shaped holes in the bumper to like make it kind of look cool, and then just stuck the exhaust behind it. And then there's like straight up fake tips like Audi that just put little rings on the bumper, but there's not even a hole there.
Right.
It's just like a chrome ring to make
Right.
it look like an exhaust tip. And then there's like an exhaust tip it's a hole, but it's also just kind of a circle. And then the exhaust tip is like not completely behind it. It's in it, and it's also just a circle. That's not super offensive.
How do you
but-
feel about like I know there's some Corvettes, like if you look at like the C7 Corvettes, like it doesn't even use all like it's quad exhaust in the back. It doesn't even use all 4 tips.
But it does when you like open like sport exhaust, no? No?
No.
It's just 2 tips?
I've cleaned a C7 exhaust tips numerous times, and literally I just cleaned 2 of them because no residue comes out of the other 2.
Well, I've noticed in the cold before, you only see stuff coming out of
2
2 of them.
because stuff only comes out of 2 of them.
I've noticed that with some like dual exhaust setups too.
So is that a fake
There's like
exhaust?
a tip on both sides,
and just one.
and you're in the cold, and there's just like
That's
steam coming
that's
out
a
of one side.
TRD right there. That's a big TRD.
That's
to
definitely
them.
a
You see a
TRD.
TRD with quad exhaust, you're like, okay.
Would you pick a TRD in your ultimate garage? We're about to pick an ultimate garage. Are you ready for that?
I think I'm ready for that. I think because that's a good one. That's a good question.
You're done with the Mansory.
I'm done drooling over the Mansory package. If we're gonna do a dream garage, we have to lay out every single aspect of exactly what we're going for in the
Yeah,
dream
there's a
garage.
couple rules.
Let's hear it.
5 cars.
Adjust myself.
Sound good to you?
5 cars.
5
okay.
cars. We're gonna roll with an SUV.
1 SUV.
Yeah.
Okay.
A daily.
Daily.
That can't be a supercar. It's got to be like a.
Now, are we doing price ranges on these things?
No,
Or
no.
what classifies it as being a supercar? Are you saying like not 2 doors or 2 seats?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Just not like.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
I get what you're saying, but I'm just
Yeah.
trying to lay it out for
You
them.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Not. It's got to have at least 4 seats.
Like same thing with the SUV. What is
someone's got to your daily. Someone's got to be able to sit in the back.
Okay. That's fine.
So not even like. I don't even want to say that.
Okay. What about the SUV?
The SUV is just SUV.
SUV in general.
Whatever you want.
Perfect.
From the Cullinan to the Hyundai Palisade,
Perfect. Okay.
and then 2 supercars.
Can't have one.
Yeah, you can't have one. You got to have one for stunting, one for driving. So 2 supercars.
Perfect way to say it.
But not like hypercars.
Not extreme.
We're not doing any hypercars in this
All right.
pick.
Deal.
These are just supercars.
Deal.
So we're like this is like where you could really be in a couple of years. You know what I mean?
All right.
And then the 5th car is like kind of a wild card, like maybe like a project car.
Wild card car. I perfectly.
You
get
know what I'm
you're
saying?
Yes.
Wild card
100%.
car. So that's just like your.
Whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
Whatever your current right now is just kind of like an itch for that weird thing. Let me ask you this. Now, this might be getting a little extreme into the details, but what's my life like for this dream garage? Is it like my dream life and my dream garage, or like what is like do I have kids? Like does all that stuff matter?
You don't have to factor kids.
Don't have to
at
factor
all.
it because that will change drastically the overall picture of everything that I
For
have.
sure. No kids.
Nothing. So
Yeah.
like it's just
Let's say
me.
this is like today.
Today, I'm
Today.
balling.
I'm handing you cash today.
And this is go.
Or you've got cash today
Go.
for this 5-car garage.
All right, you want to start? Or you want me to start?
I can start.
Do it.
SUV?
Yeah. We're gonna go 1-on-1, or are you gonna do your all 5? Let's do 1-on-1.
Yeah, let's do one.
Let's do it.
Let's talk it out. SUV. This one was tough, but I have to go with Model X Plaid.
Gavin, you have great taste, man.
I have to.
You great taste. Dang, I knew we were gonna get this on a couple things. I agree with you. That's my pick for the SUV
Really?
too, which is the problem. Yeah.
Man, I should have. You would have picked that if I didn't say it.
100%.
You were already thinking that.
No, because please tell me. First off, the Model X Plaid specifically, is one of the best cars that exist in today's day and age. Plus, it's an SUV. Like, literally, name another car that could do everything the Model X Plaid does. Exactly. So, like, it's as an SUV, it's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things people don't understand, how easy to drive a Tesla it is. When you start driving a Tesla, you forget
Autopilot.
Oh, autopilot, there's no key. On the Model X, you open the door, you get in, just tap a button to close the door. Like
2.6 seconds to 60.
You can't beat it, man. You can't beat it.
I think I have to take it because, like, as much as, I don't know, there's so many good SUV options out there if you're trying to stunt in an SUV.
Right.
The problem is, for me, in this dream garage scenario, I'm thinking the SUV is for being an SUV.
Right.
If I'm trying to go whip, we're about to pick 2 supercars.
Right.
So, like, I don't need an Urus as my SUV.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to throw on autopilot
And relax.
and get to San Diego.
Feel comfortable.
With not a second thought.
If you want me to contrast the Model X Plaid, my second option, I know would not, just because we picked the same car, if it wasn't the Model X Plaid, it would be a G63, like G-Wagon.
That's fair.
That's the only other thing. And only because I like that ride and I like that car.
Yeah.
Not in any means is that car better than the Model X Plaid.
But would you
it's not.
Would you take it over a Cullinan? Because now you're talking about, like,
Yeah, I am.
you think so?
I'm not into the big Rolls Royce lure.
Yeah.
Or lure, whatever you want to call it.
Until you drive it.
I mean, I've driven race before and everything.
Oh,
I have not driven a Cullinan.
Yeah.
But again, I know Rolls Royces are meant to be like, there's meant to be very nice cruising cars, excellent. But for me, like,
Fair.
I guess the luxury of the Rolls Royce, like this, whatever you want to say, like the Starlight roof and everything in between. I don't even know if Cullinans have star lights in this.
Some
lights.
of them.
They do.
Yeah, it's an option.
It just,
RDB option.
I don't know.
It's a real option.
Stars in the ceiling.
They'll star anything.
Literally. That car just, I mean, for me, the lure's not there.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate the simplicity of the Model X Plaid more than I like the luxury of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
Yeah.
And same thing with the Mercedes, too, because the whole problem is, too, I'm thinking, maybe you're not thinking this, but, like, if I had a Rolls-Royce, how often is the service going to be done on that car? Am I going to be able to drive it? Like, Model X Plaid and even a G-Wagon,
yeah,
like, they're pretty bulletproof cars, man.
I think DBX 707 would be my second pick if I couldn't pick a Model X.
You're getting wild, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're not driving that car a lot, man.
What?
You're not driving that car a lot.
But I love it. If the Model X Plaid, if the, like, comfortable, perfect everything car is not on the table, then I'd just go balls to the wall with like a DBX 707.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
But the G would be tough to not.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
G63. Okay, so now we've got
Daily.
Daily.
All right. Can I rip this one first?
Yeah, go ahead.
This one I feel like you could take in a lot of different directions, but for me, a simple, perfect daily, and I feel like this is pretty common and pretty, like, traditional, but I would probably go with, if I had to pick a daily, it would probably just be like an S580 Mercedes, like an S-Class.
Really? You wouldn't even go 63?
No, because the whole point of my daily is because I don't want to feel like, for example, one of the things I like about, like, even the G-Wagon is, like, the fact that, like, if you put it in, like, the different settings, the modes, it like, you can control the way it shifts and it's a little more aggressive. Like, if it's going to be a true daily, not that I don't want performance when I want it, but, like, I want the most simple, not mind-numbing experience, I guess.
Okay.
So an S580 drives like a giant cloud. It's built for luxury, or even I would even go like maybe like the new 7 Series BMW.
We're going totally different directions and
Really?
This pick.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it then. I love it. I want simple luxury, feel good for a daily where I can get in and out. It's comfortable. I feel like I'm on a cloud and everything's nice and brand new and luxurious. That's all I need.
Interesting. So for me, it's like the comfort thing. I'm like, the Tesla takes care of that. So I don't need a second car.
This is your daily, Gavin.
Like, yeah, but I'm a psycho.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm dailying a 4C right now.
That's
so
fair. That's fair.
You can go. Everything's going up from here.
That's fair.
This is gonna be fun. I think I'm gonna go with the Ferrari GTC 4 Lusso.
This is not a daily. This is not a daily. So? No, that's not a daily.
Adults can fit in the back seat.
You got to be kidding me.
And it's got a trunk. You can fit 4 sets of golf clubs in the back and 4 adults.
That's not a daily. There's no way.
You don't think so?
No, okay, not that I don't think it's a daily, because if you can own the car,
you're gonna make me pick.
You could do it. No, I'm not gonna make you pick. I'm not gonna make you pick. Obviously, if you have the car, you could do whatever the heck you want with it. But when you think of a daily driver, you do not think of the GT4 Lusso as a daily driver.
But I would daily drive it.
maybe I didn't understand the boundaries of this question. But
Do you want to pick something else?
No. I like, for the purpose of a daily, I like my answer.
If you want to switch it to sedan, I can go with the sedan.
It doesn't. No. It doesn't have to be sedan. It would be what your daily is. I would love for you this to actually come reality, and then you come and tell me after 6 months of dailying this car, you're like, I can't daily this thing anymore. That would make my life. Tune back in to see if this happens, but that would make my entire existence.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll have an FF.
Dang, that'd be
Or the
nice.
GTC maybe will be
Will happen. It'll happen.
180 grand here in
It'll
a couple
happen.
years.
Honestly, I think I get what you're saying, but I like. Maybe I don't know enough about the GT4 Lusso. Why do you think it could be dailied?
Why can't it
Because
be?
you like the car. You like the car.
Because I love the car. I saw a video of someone that daily that
That's
said
fair.
it was great one time.
That's fair.
But also, I don't know. Maybe it's a bad pick.
No, it's not a bad pick. If that's your daily in your mind, that's a good pick.
I just know it's got a trunk and it's got 4 seats and adults fit in the back.
Then forget it's a daily.
There's like enough space for adults to actually fit in the back. So
I was more saving like by daily. I just think of something like I'm thinking of two.
you're thinking of something comfortable. I know what you mean.
Not even really like obviously comfortable is one thing, but like again we go back to you're gonna daily the Ferrari for a couple of days.
What if I said a
weeks?
Turbo S? Would you argue that?
Yes and no. Like no, I wouldn't argue it. But like the
Turbo S
GT4
is
Lusso,
more of a daily than the GTC4 Lusso.
yeah. Porsches are bulletproof, man.
Okay.
You can drive that
I see
car
what
every
you're
day
saying.
and it can handle itself more. Like the GT4 Lusso, after consistently driving it, you're gonna run into some kind of problems.
Good news is I got 3 other cars.
What do we have next? Two supercars?
Or I have 4 other cars. But yeah, 2 supercars.
You do one, I'll do one.
Yeah. I'm going to go first pick. I'm just worried you're going to pick the same thing.
I mean,
Is it a problem that we're like this?
no. I feel like that's exactly why we're doing this whole thing, because we're like this.
Yeah. So, first pick, I have to go with a variation of the Aventador. I have to.
Because
the Aventador
can't argue it.
is like, it's just the pinnacle
It
of
is.
Italian beauty
It really is.
and
What
obnoxiousness.
variation of the Aventador would you do? Because this matters, in my opinion.
It does, and you're going to pick the same one. That's why I'm sad.
Don't
but
be
it
sad,
also
baby.
just means we're both smart.
Yeah, we have good taste.
The original SV.
I'm telling you, man. There's something about it. There's something about it.
I just think the lines work better than the SVJ.
Thank you. I think my opinion, not that it looks like cartoonish, it just looks too.
Yeah.
The SV is like what I imagine, like raw, aggressive, douchey Lambo. Like that was the pinnacle of like, we don't care. This car literally, like when it drives by, you're like literally like, what
The thing
just
is,
happened? Like that's the whole point.
The Mercy SV was such a perfect car.
Right.
That car was like, it took just. I'm lost for words. It took the Mercy, like it just took it to the most potential it could possibly have.
Right.
In my eyes.
Right.
I think the Mercy SV is like one of the most beautiful cars ever, and the Aventador SV felt like the embodiment of that.
That's fair.
For the Aventador.
That's fair.
The SVJ feels like its kind of own thing, if that makes sense.
I agree with you.
Like
I get what you're saying.
It
at
feels
least.
removed from the Aventador.
I'm telling you, it's like it's not that it's a different car at all, but like I'm telling you, even the imagery, like it doesn't look like what the Aventador would. At least when I picture the Aventador, is what it
Did
looks
you know
like.
there's like over 3,000 SVJs? Or like 3,000 SVJs, I think?
SVJ specifically,
Yeah.
like in general?
Yeah.
Are you trying to say that's a
I'm
low
saying
number
that's
or a
lot.
high number? That's
I'm
a
saying
lot.
That's a lot. 3,000
A lot
SVJs.
compared to what though?
Do you know how many Mercy SVs there were?
How many?
350? I don't even know if they made all 350. 350 is on the plaque.
But they're selling 3,000 of those units.
I know.
So
And I don't know how much there are of the Aventador SV, but it's not nearly as many as the SVJ. The SVJ, they opened up the floodgates. They said, if you have the money to buy one,
What was the MSRP
you
on
can
that?
buy
Do you know?
one. I think 600.
See, that's the thing. I guess in my head it's not a lot, but like if you can sell 300 or 3,000, $600,000 cars, by all means, my man.
I don't fault them for it.
Right.
It's just like it's the whole imagery of these like limited run kind
Resale
of cars.
value.
Yeah.
So you're telling me SV, an S, and a base Aventador will hold value better than an SVJ because of the rarity?
No.
No?
No, because the SVJ has become the social media car.
It is. Yeah.
It is the social media car.
Like if you want to sell a course, you have to have an SVJ.
That's the first reason why I even looked up how many there were. Because I was like, everyone on Instagram has an SVJ. Not everyone,
How does everybody afford an SVJ? Oh my goodness.
They sell courses.
I'm telling you, whatever. But I don't, again.
And for those of you that haven't like done the math, I just want to, let's just paint this picture for you real quick. I'm going to be the paint the picture guy. I say that way too much.
I know. I love it.
This is the last time I ever say paint the picture for you. You have a course for $1,000, which really isn't a lot in the course world.
Right.
That's like low ticket item.
It is.
You sell it to 1,000 people, which think about how many people there are in America. 1,000 people is nothing.
Nothing.
You sell a $1,000 course to 1,000 people, that's $1 million. I'm not a math guru.
No, you're not.
So now you take a $5,000 course, sell it to 1,000 people. That's $5 million for 1,000 people, and there are plenty of $5,000 courses out there. These guys are pulling in $1 million a month.
Ridiculous amount of money, man. Ridiculous.
Selling courses and sticking you in a Discord channel.
And that's it. Their courses are one-time purchasing.
Yeah.
Even some structures of subscription-based models, like with volume, is insane.
Right.
But like, I think this is even separate from cars, and we won't stick to this long. But like, I want to say this because I feel like this needs to be said. People don't understand when you really simplistically break it down how achievable some of this stuff is. It's just wrapping your mind around the concept. People look at the $1 million and are like, how can I make $1 million, bro? If you break it down and you actually put realistic step by step, you're like, all I need to do is make this many sales of this product. And it's all right in front of you.
Here's what you do. You go out, you find a way to make $100,000 a month. Or we'll say $50,000 a month. You find a way to make $50,000 a month, freelancing, whatever you do. I don't know, build some business, make $50,000 a month, because that feels like a lower bar than $1 million a month. Once you do that, all you have to do then is start making videos going, this is how I make $50,000 a month. And this is how you can make $50,000 a month, is buy my course. And when you're like, oh, $50,000 a month, I'm going to spend $3,000 to do that, $4,000 to do that, it doesn't feel that crazy.
No.
Because you're like, it's only $4,000 to make $50,000 a month. Well, they don't tell you how much you got to grind.
I'm telling you.
To get there. Because they probably grinded to get there.
Extreme amount. And then not exactly like you said, not trying to discredit anybody that sells courses. But I think people just don't understand, and I think that's the disconnect, is these courses, now some of them are obviously better than others. But
for sure.
A lot of the good courses, they
levels.
give you the blueprint. Mm-hmm. But it's the actual physical action. And that's literally what separates 99% of people, like poverty versus wealth or whatever you want to call it, is just action.
Courses have a lot of value. I'm not trying to devalue the courses.
We'll talk about this another day.
Yeah, because they've got...
You and I especially could go all day on this type of thing.
There's some serious value out there, and they will give you the keys, and you got to work for it, yada, yada, yada. But like the keys are there, and they're giving you the blueprint, so you don't have to go waste a bunch of time poring over the free information and sifting through it.
Correct.
You can go straight to someone that's made the money, and if you want to make $50,000 a month in that industry, you can. I'm just letting you know that the lifestyle that they're portraying is not a $50,000 a month lifestyle.
Absolutely.
They are supplementing that with their $1 million a month course. And so when it's like the subliminal messaging of all the they all have these SVJs. It's like, oh, they got that by having this agency and making $50,000 a month. I'm sorry, they didn't. Like,
people aren't ready to accept
they
that. They
bought the SVJ with the course money.
You're going to piss the people off on the internet. So I'm telling you, people aren't ready to accept that truth.
Doesn't mean they're not giving you value. It doesn't mean they're ripping people off.
No.
There's plenty of value there, but they're buying those cars with the course money. Anyway, we have two cars.
Is it my turn?
Aventador SV.
Now, I think you're 100% correct. I'm going to pick Aventador SV, but I'll pick my other one first now. Okay. If my supercar, at least my first pick, since you picked the SV, is honestly, it'd probably be an SF90 Ferrari. I have only heard the most insane things about that car. Yeah. Now, I'm not as well versed in that thing as I should be. Like, I couldn't tell you exactly the specs of it, but I've just heard that car is an insane combination of like putting power and like it's just everything about it, from the electronics to the driving experience to the way that it puts power, the acceleration, everything. That car's unreal.
Okay.
I'm yet to drive one. I've yet to sit in one, but just based solely off of that, plus I love the way it looks too. That would be my other pick. Or I guess I just gave them both picks at once.
You kind of did. But it's fine because we've been going back and forth.
Yeah, because you ruined it with the first pick.
The SF90 is a good pick, and it would definitely be up there for me, but I don't know if I can pick it.
What would be your second then?
Man, it's so hard. I bounce around because I wanna go with a variant of the Huracan, But then I'm like, then I just have 2 Lambos and I'm that
Right.
guy.
Yep.
But they serve different purposes.
They
The Huracan and the
absolutely do.
Aventador serve extremely different purposes. So that's kind of where I maybe go back. But then I start thinking about the 720, and I really just want to pick a 720.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I got 3 other cars.
Yeah, but that 720. I mean, yeah, I
What are the
guess.
cars?
Because, yeah, I guess you're not gonna drive it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know. I want to drive.
What about 765 at least?
Yeah. There's obviously that's obviously the better pick. It just
Right.
am I gonna pick an SV and a 765? Like that's just I guess people do it. So
If you got the bread,
if you got it,
make it
and,
happen.
and there's no rules, yeah, let's go with a 765 LT. That's
let me tell you, I think I'm more excited about this project car than anything.
yeah,
Yeah. 'Cause I think-
project car.
Like I think it's a wide spectrum.
Yeah.
Obviously. But like for me, I feel like it more tailors to what when you think of the word project car, where does your mind go to? And I mean, not even project car. What do we call it? Wild car, wild
We call it a
card
wild
car.
card.
It's literally whatever. I feel like every car guy has this, and I guess if
It's
I
like
say
the
this,
guilty pleasure car.
exactly. Like this might resonate with a lot of people, but like no matter what you like, no matter what you drive now, no matter what you're trying to go to, there's always 1 or 2 cars where you're just like, I just love this thing. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I want it.
I don't know if this is exactly what you're thinking, but I have like a handful of cars that make no sense. Like there's no reason I should ever own any of these, but I want to.
Now, is that from like a high cost standpoint, or is that
Yes, that's a high cost?
Okay.
standpoint.
See, for me,
So I
I'm
don't
not-
want to name one of those. I can actually, after we pick, I'll tell you what I was thinking about.
All right.
And that can be our kind of like right before we end.
Yeah,
I'll throw that
little-
topic.
little
out 'cause
capper.
There's a couple things I want to mention.
it just needs to get said?
Yeah, I just have to say I've got to bring attention to these cars. But
I wasn't even thinking about like a financial standpoint. I'm
Right.
more so just thinking of just all along the entire spectrum as a whole.
yeah,
To be honest with you, my wild card car, there's 2 different directions I would go with. For the sake of wild card, not project car,
it can be a project car. Come on.
it can be.
Yeah, I'll pick a project car.
Honestly, what I would do is I would get a C. I would get a 6th gen Camaro ZL1, okay, with
The newest one.
the newest one,
Yeah.
with the LT4, 650 horsepower, 650 torque,
Yeah.
which is already insane. Okay, on top of that, why I didn't pick a C7 Corvette, because you know how if you've watched our previous episodes, I think that's one of the like for low cost or relative low cost, that car's insane.
Yeah.
The reason I picked the Camaro ZL1, especially with the project car dynamic, there it is again, is the 10-speed automatic. People don't realize how unreal the Chevy 10-speed automatic is combined with that much power. Because the C7 Corvette does not have a 10-speed in it. It
Yeah.
has an 8-speed, which even still is a lot. But when they built that 10-speed and they put it on these Camaros, people don't realize, if you don't know a lot about these 6th-gen ZL1s, these cars are ridiculous. Because they can handle, unlike Hellcats, and on top of that, they put power down, plus the 10-speed automatic, the shifting and everything in between, it's insane. I would probably do that car and maybe put a different supercharger on it, maybe put a Whipple on it. I don't even know. New exhaust. Maybe try to get that thing up to like 750 horsepower with a tune or something like that.
Go
That
crazy
would
with it?
Go crazy.
You wouldn't get the 1,000 horsepower.
I mean, maybe I get an Exorcist from Hennessy if he wanted to hook me up or something like that. But I would literally get that car and I would go out and I would just try to find Lambos and let them think that they're fast and then destroy them. Absolutely. And then as they think they're going to eventually gain on me, I got 3 more gears.
You just
than
be
they
a
do.
vigilante.
Literally. I would be a menace to society. What would be your wild card car?
Well, let's go. Yeah, a project. If you're talking about like
Whatever you want. Whatever you think fits that description. Doesn't have to match my vibe.
You ready for this?
Yes. No, I'm not.
I'm gonna kind of match it
Okay, go
because
ahead.
it's fun that way.
Say
Alfa
4C,
Romeo
I'm gonna
4C.
end you. Oh my god, dude! As soon as you said you're gonna match it, I said, "Get out."
I would get
Get out.
I'd get an Alfa Romeo 4C in my like dream spec, which is pretty close to what I have. Couple options that I don't have, and then I would just
Go crazy on
go
it.
crazy on it.
That's fair.
The stage 3,
Right.
maybe even like do some crazy engine swap where it's pushing 500.
That's the point. I feel you.
And yeah,
Can you tell this man loves
crazy
his
Canyon
car?
suspension? Like I'd also put power steering in it, which I could do for
It's not
$5,000.
even a 4C anymore.
Yeah, but it would be. Yeah, it still would be. It'd still be a
know what I
tiny,
mean.
lightweight car with a ton of power. It'd be crazy. If I didn't like the power steering, I'd take it out. But I definitely want to at least try it with the power steering. But I would just to to the 9, just
All the way.
yeah, 4C.
You might be the only person that I know that owns a car that would go in his dream garage.
Yeah, I mean, at least in this scenario.
Like every single possibility that came in your mind, you're like, honestly, what I got now, but like go crazy with it. Why don't you just go crazy with yours right now? I've been trying to convince him to do stage 2 in his car for so long, but he doesn't want to do it.
It's expensive.
Bro, let's make it happen, baby.
What I just like everything I just like what I described, taking it up that. I mean, it's like I'd be putting 30 grand into the car.
Let's make it happen, baby.
I don't have.
We
it.
don't even need an R8 at that point.
I don't have it. I'd rather have an R8.
That's fair. That's fair.
But okay.
What did you want to get out? Because I can still feel that you're answering to get what you wanted to get out, or do you not feel that way?
Well, I do want to get it out, and I was thinking that, but then before we go there, I realized let's just because the people probably are going to want to pick a garage, right?
Okay, there it is.
So I had what did I even pick in the beginning? Model X Plaid. We both did Model X Plaid, and then I'll go through all mine. So GTC4 Lusso, the Ferrari hatchback, kind of a clown shoe, but V12 screaming. Oh yeah, I'd get the V12, not the V8.
My
and
bad.
then Aventador SV, and then 765, and then modded out 4C. That's my garage. You had? Do you remember?
Honestly, I like your garage better. But
really?
now that I just feel like your garage is like balls to the wall. I feel like my garage just tailors to at least what my mindset was a little bit better. But mine was Model X Plaid as well. Do you want me to pick the other one just for the sake of having two different garages completely? Because I will. I don't mind.
What do you mean?
Like,
no,
I'm allowed to do Model X Plaid too?
Yeah.
All right. Model X Plaid.
We're not drafting today.
Perfect. Model X Plaid. S600 Mercedes, whatever you want to call it. The top of the line S class.
Maybach?
Not a Maybach.
You don't want a Maybach?
I don't want a Maybach.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be driving the car.
The Virgil Maybach?
Those are beautiful cars.
I saw 2 of them.
There's nothing wrong with a Maybach, but the whole point of a Maybach is to get a Maybach and not drive the car. Like people don't. What do you mean?
People drive you.
People don't realize. Okay,
if you're driving a Maybach, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it if you are physically driving your own Maybach, you're doing the car wrong.
It's got feet rest.
Not saying that you can't. If you have a Maybach, do whatever you want with the car. But if you're driving it, that's not the point of the car. Besides the fact. So S600 Mercedes, okay, as a daily. Then I would also do Aventador SV because it's flawless on wheels. Then my secondary would be the SF90 Ferrari with project car being 6th Gen Z01. And let's just throw 750 on it. However you want to get to 750. But I'd call it the supercar killer.
I'd say 1,000.
1,000? Let's do 1,000.
Yeah.
I
think you can get to 1,000.
Are we going to slap the garages up here, or what are we doing? Did I just hit my garages? Because I'm committing you to all the craziness.
We're juggling the garage here.
All right, perfect.
Last thing. Do we have time for this?
Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll get deeper into this one day, but I want to hear, do you have a couple like guilty pleasure cars? I feel like that's what I could call them. I don't even know.
Oh, this is where you're going with this?
There's a couple cars that don't make any sense necessarily to own with what's out there today and how much they cost, but I would love to have them in a collection. This is more, if I was a collector, I'd have to have a couple of these.
Collection mindset.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I have a couple.
I think I have one that's really going to surprise you.
Huh.
I'll say that one first.
Go ahead.
The SL65 Black Series. Do you remember that?
The Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes SL65 Black Series.
That's the one with the doors go.
No.
No?
It's like 2012 SL, and they did the black. It's got a wide body kit from Mercedes.
I don't know. Why am I not picturing the car?
It looks crazy. Should I pull it up?
Please do, because I'm trying to picture the car. I don't know why I can't picture the dang thing.
Do you have any? While I'm pulling this
up? To be honest with you, I wasn't thinking of the financials. I was thinking lower end, but now that we did higher end, my one thing, and I honestly have never even said this, I haven't talked about this car not one time, but mine would be the LaFerrari.
The LaFerrari is incredible.
A what?
Incredible.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was a crisis. I was like, what?
No, I'm with you on that.
I don't know why I love the design of that car. Like from even the weird mirrors, like I love that car. This is what your guilty pleasure. I kind of feel it.
For some reason, this is like the most German muscle thing. Why is my phone muscle?
That's what it is. I got it. I got it though. That's guilty pleasure wise.
That Mercedes has ever made. Like that back.
Yeah.
That back fender.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
That quarter is crazy.
I saw one of these in person on the road one time, and it was just like, I was like, wow,
crazy.
That's amazing. I think this car's so cool. Another Mercedes, the SLS Black Series.
See, now that
This might be like my favorite Mercedes ever created.
That's what I was thinking of when you said it first. Exactly. That's exactly the car I was thinking when you said it.
Well, this
first.
is also on my list. The SLS Black Series, I think this is just...
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Nice car.
I think this is just amazing.
What's the Mercedes that they did a McLab?
The SLR.
That one. That's one of my guilty pleasure ones. The SLR.
Manny's got a handful of those.
Manny, those are like, I don't even know. Those are
his guilty pleasure.
Those are
cars,
Camrys for him.
sure.
Those are Camrys for Manny, but ridiculous.
Oh, I just love this car.
It's all good.
I don't know if we can call the LaFerrari a guilty pleasure, though.
Why?
How's that a guilty pleasure? That's just one of the greatest cars ever.
Why is it not a guilty pleasure? You're going to spend a couple mil on a car and not call it a guilty
There's
pleasure?
nothing guilty, I guess so, if you put it that way.
Oh, man.
LFA might be a guilty pleasure car.
All right, now we're not talking about the Lexus. No, we're not doing this.
Just to hear it.
You're not spending $1 million just to hear a sound.
You know what I learned about that car since we talked about it?
Huh.
So, they did the engine with Yamaha,
Really?
and you know what Yamaha does?
Jet skis, no?
Jet skis, power, they do engines, but they also do high-end musical instruments.
Oh, my goodness.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they're like the leading musical instrument manufacturer. So they helped them with the engine, and then they ultimately helped them with the exhaust to literally make, like, their goal was to make it the best sounding car ever.
Make the acoustics of the exhaust better?
Like Yamaha designed the whole shape path of
See, man,
the exhaust
the
to make
more
it
you
sound
know.
the way it does.
See, that now it makes sense.
Yeah.
The more you know.
It didn't just randomly sound good. It wasn't,
I did not know that at all.
Yeah.
At all.
They wanted it to sound good. That was one of the primary goals.
And it still didn't even win best sounding car of all time.
We did have a couple votes for it in the chat.
I don't know, man.
It definitely sounds good, but the Aventador SV, the way it screams,
I'm telling you, man.
Tough to beat.
To be honest with you, I feel like this episode was fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like
had
we covered a
great time.
lot. If you guys liked everything we talked about, I feel like at the end, I want to get their opinion. I want people to comment about the structure. What do you guys think about the topics? The engagement is what I love.
Yeah, feel free to comment. Tell us what you want.
Everything. Exactly. Tell us what you want. Argue with us, because I think Gavin says some wild stuff on this one, so I'm excited for you guys to hear what his
You think people are going to love that Mansory Aventador? Or Mansory Urus?
I feel like it's going to be a pretty split stance, but I feel like I'll have a couple people on my corner.
Oh, I mean,
I think we're the minority.
They sell 'em.
I think we're the minority, but I think I'll have a couple people in my corner.
that's fair.
Maybe Daniel Mack might like it.
But
We'll
yeah,
see.
give us some. Come follow us on the social.
Absolutely.
You'll see the spec checks posted on Sundays.
Yep.
You'll see we throw up a bunch of polls on the stories. Ask about the specs, all that stuff.
And a little bit of the personal touch of us too. More when you follow social medias, you kind of get the personal side of it instead of just hearing us here. You kind of see more of like the updated day to day. But besides that, I feel like episode 6, it's a wrap.
6, 7, 8.
7, 8, 10.
I don't know exactly what it is. I don't remember.
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah, you'll know when it comes out.
See you guys.
See ya.